Welcome back to another episode of the Tiffany Paul Show. You guys, pull up a fucking chair and get fucking comfortable because today I'm pouring the tea. No, I'm spilling the tea. I'm spilling the tea, not pouring the tea. I have fucking updates for you in regard to the ex. If you have been following along, the ex guy I dated, he's back. After 3 months, he reached out. He wanted to reconnect. I told you I gave it a shot. I went to dinner with him. I explained all that in the last episode, so I'm not going to reiterate that. But then here's the fucking latest, guys. I'm not only going to spill the tea on how this whole thing played out, but I'm going to spill the tea on our initial relationship at the beginning of the summer because I didn't share much in episode 2 besides that I got my heart broken because quite frankly, I wasn't really ready to share. But now I'm ready to fucking talk about it. So let's fucking talk about it. We'll talk about the relationship then. We'll talk about the relationship now. We'll kind of intertwine the two. I'm going to just give you the cliff notes. I'm going to give you the lessons that I learned. I'm going to give you some examples of some of the behaviors so that you can understand not only what I went through, but this is going to be like a cautionary tale for any of you who maybe are new to dating like me. Maybe you're just recently divorced, or maybe you've been dating for a while and you're like, oh my God, I thought that was just me. No, it's not just fucking you. And I just want to shed a little light for any, people out there who were like naive like me and like disregarded a lot of red flags and called them yellow when they were clearly fucking red. And also validate you that like I understand how easy it is to get sucked into their bullshit and like lower your bar, lower your standards. I know how easy it is for them to convince you that like you're the problem when really they're the fucking problem and you're just reacting to their fucking nonsense. I know it goes two ways. I played my fucking role, but the difference between him and I is that I take accountability and I work on myself versus he just like denies, deflects, defends his behavior and does not work to improve it. So here's the tea. Here's where the story continues. So after we go to dinner, the next day he has this golf trip. So he takes off for a week with the guys. And every fucking day he's texting me like, good morning, baby. Gonna have like an amazing day. And to be honest, guys, like I kind of fell into it for a minute. I'm like, it felt good to just be like texting a man again. I genuinely like have feelings for him. I genuinely like him as a person. So I was like, sure, hey, sexy, da da da. Like, and he's like, have I told you today you're sexy? Like, cute stuff, And I'm like, this is fine. He's texting me like, let's call it like 4 days straight after our date. And then suddenly on the fifth date, cricket. I don't hear from him. No good morning text. And guys, this takes me back in time to recalling how he used to do this in the past. And it drove me fucking crazy. He would text, good morning, good morning, good morning, first thing in the day, 6 of the 7 days, like clockwork. And then like on like the 7th day, like maybe sometimes it was the 6th, sometimes it was the 8th, but like clockwork, he just wouldn't text you that day. And he wouldn't text you until you text him. And at first, like, I didn't think much of it. I'm like, oh, that's weird. He must have just been busy, or like having a day, like in a mood, like whatever. And, so I would just like text them, good morning. Like that would be like my day to say good morning. And I didn't care. Like, I don't mind saying good morning. But then when I started to see over several weeks that this was a pattern, there's like, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and then silence, I started to think, like, is this a strategic thing he's doing to like test me, to like play a game? I've also seen these like things about how to text people to like make them addicted to you. And I know that like inconsistency is more addictive than consistency. So I'm like, is this his little tactic that he literally texts women inconsistently so that the day that you pull back, like they want you? So I started just like questioning myself. Like at the time, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like I would let the day go by, be like 3 p.m. and like no text from him. So it's like, I get you're like busy or whatever. It's like, eventually I would just text him because I'm like, I'm not going to just fucking not text you all day. That's weird. Like we text every day and then we're not going to text you. And like, I didn't really have a problem with texting him. It's just the fact that it was a pattern. It was a pattern. And so One of the things about this person that I didn't share about last time is that he was extremely inconsistent. He would be like all about me, you're so amazing, you're my dream girl, and then suddenly just like cold, like, don't bother me, I'm working, I'm busy, and you're like, what the fuck is your problem? So the moment he fucking did that, and he'd been texting me for like weeks at this point every day, because first it was like reaching back out, and like I was actually on a vacation. I told him like, I'm on vacation, so I'm gonna be quiet this week, but like I'll see you when I get back. At the time, even though I told him don't text me, he still would text me every day. And then leading up to the date every day. And then after the date every day, and then suddenly gone. Okay. So anyways, there's this term called breadcrumbing. I'm sure you've heard of this, but like I'm like new here. I'm new to the dating land. But I was like, what is breadcrumbing? It's like when they just give you a little bit, like a little taste, like a nice one little cute text, but then you don't hear from them all day. And you're like, oh, but he sent that nice little cute text. And like that's like a breadcrumb. And you're like, oh yeah, let me just nibble up this little breadcrumb, and you would convince yourself it's a fucking cake. No, it's not a fucking cake. It's a little fucking breadcrumb. And to me, that's what these good morning texts were. Like this little breadcrumb, and he thought like it would be like enough to excuse like all of his other behavior and lack of presence and intentionality and prioritization of like his dating life. And so what breadcrumbing does also, it like gives you just enough to like keep you hooked, you know, and waiting for like what you think is going to be the cake. But anyways, the spoiler alert, like the cake doesn't come, you know? And so instantly something went off in me. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. I am not doing this again, because if he fucking wants me, I don't care if he's on a golf trip. He can text me a little smiley face, a little heart emoji, a little hope your day is doing well, just like he did every fucking other day that he, you know, wanted my attention. And then now that he has my attention, now he like pulls back. And this is what he did last time. And it drove me fucking insane. And it reminded me, Tiffany, don't get swept up in his charm, in his bullshit, in like these little sweet moments of a nice date, a good conversation, a nice makeout, like pretty eyes. Like, don't get caught in this, because you did this last time and you got burned. And what I learned in this relationship is that inconsistency is actually more addictive than consistency. Like when it was good, it was really good. It was like we had so much fun and we would laugh and we had amazing conversations. And when we would go out to dinner, like literally so many people would be like, you guys are so cute together. How long have you been together? Because we both like had this amazing like attraction and we'd have so much fun. It'd be so good. And then he would like kind of turn. And I told you in that second episode, it's like he'd be like this dick and he would just be like, I don't have time for you. You need too much attention. And I'm like, dude, like I'm just being a girl. You know, girls require attention. And plus it's confusing because sometimes he has like all this time that he wants to text you all day, and then you text him 2 times in one day and he's like, are you just glued to your phone all day? Like, do you work? It's like, who says things like that? But then you kind of stick around because you're like, oh, like you make excuses, like he's just being a guy, he's having a bad day. Like maybe I am being needy, maybe I am being too much, maybe this is unfair of me to ask. And you start to question yourself of like, oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong here because clearly he's annoyed or he's pulling away. You start making it about you versus like realizing it's about him. And then you deal with the shitty behavior because you're remembering like the few bright spots and like the good behavior and how much fun you had and great conversation and like the chemistry. So I would bypass a lot of that and put up with like shit that I normally wouldn't put up with, because when it was good, it was really good. And I really understood more than ever before, like how people get stuck in abusive relationships. And this wasn't abusive by any means, but I can see where you get hooked and addicted to these good times and then these promises of maybe like improvement, but then they never like follow through on what they say. And that was another thing with him. Like he would say things but never follow through, and like very inconsistent. But then occasionally consistent. So that's inconsistent, right? And so it was like constantly like you're walking on eggshells. You don't really know what kind of version of them you're going to get. Your nervous system gets hooked on it. You know, that's why gambling is addictive, right? You roll the dice and what is it? You pull like the slot machine. You pull, you get that hit, that adrenaline, that dopamine of like, oh my God, he loves me. Here he is. This is amazing. And then like he goes away. And so you're like, you know, pulling, what is the thing called? Like the cranker, you know, you pull the lever or whatever, and you like lose, but then you win. And so it's like this addictive game that like literally your nervous system gets hijacked. And so then you also start acting crazy in the relationship. You're like, I literally told him, I'm like, you're making me act crazy because I just was so dysregulated. I'm just like so spun around. I'm like, what's happening? Do you like me? Do you not? Like, what is happening here? And then I'm like reacting and not being my best self. And then they're blaming you, being like, you're the problem. And you're like, maybe I am the problem, but you're so dysregulated. You're not even acting like from your highest self. And he's all like, be like, I want someone in their feminine who's gonna be like soft and like relaxed and like let me lead and trusting. It's like, dude, you are not creating an environment for me to fucking relax. Like, you are stressing me the fuck out. And so, anyways, good morning, good morning, good morning, ghost lands. So when that happens, I'm like, not gonna fall for this again. So, long story short is I text him like, this isn't working for me, and that's that. And that is that, guys. But it didn't just end there. Hey, guys, if you're on YouTube, hi from the future. This is a present day confession, really closing up the summer fling loop because the story continues and it didn't just end there. I will fill you in on how the story actually came to full completion, leading me to finally not only block, but delete his number. So him and I did continue to text here and there, kind of find reasons to, I guess, reach out to one another for like the next month or so. And, you know, he would send me confusing things. Like he would send me like this song that talked about like maybe one day he'll like quit the leaving. He'll quit like just giving up and walking away. And it like kept the loop open where I'm like, wait, is he like having a revelation? Is he gonna like change? Is he gonna stop ghosting me and being hot cold? Like, what does this mean, you know? But granted, you know, it comes with this caveat of like, hey, not trying to start anything, but this song made me think of you, or this song resonated deeply, or something like that. And so it like kept the loop open. And then, you know, I don't remember exactly the series of events, but there was at one point where I was like, we were still texting here and there intermittently. And I was like, why don't we just go grab a drink? And he was like, I do want to see you. And I was like, okay, perfect. What are you doing tomorrow? And he's like, I'm not sure. And it's like, first off, who knows who doesn't know what they're doing tomorrow? And like, if you really want to see me, you'll fucking make the time, right? So I was already like, okay, whatever. Don't hold your breath. But then he's like, I want to see you. I was like, okay, text me tomorrow. This was like the end of October. Do you think he texted me tomorrow? No, he didn't. Do you think that just weeks earlier he sent me a song that said, maybe one day I'll quit the leaving? And then did he ghost me and not text me back after also saying he wanted to see me? Yes, that happened. And I'm like, Tiffany, how many more times do I need to put myself through this fucking torture of like him pulling me in and then pushing me away, you know? And I'm like, it needs to end, you know? And so I like text him something like, listen, like it's so disrespectful. You just like not responding. If you're busy, let me know. If you change your mind and you don't want to see me, let me know. If you're upset, let me know. If you're like shutting down, let me know. Just communicate. Like it's disrespectful to just leave people hanging like this. And I was like, I am done. Like I'm blocking you for good. And I blocked him. And so in my mind, I definitely was like, all right, that's the end of that. Because I'm clearly seeing the pattern is continuing. It's not changing. At no point in time has he worked on himself, expressed any interest or desire to work on himself. And so let's fast forward to present day time, which I'm recording this now in December. So December 1st hits. I am not so caught up on him anymore, but I still think of him from time to time. I genuinely wish him well, and I genuinely want the best for him. I like to end things in clean energy whenever possible. I've talked about having clearing conversations and how important they are. So fast forward to December 1st, I sent him this generic text and it was like, hey, I just wanted to like end this cleanly and like wish you well. And I didn't hear back. And I'm like, fine, whatever. Like he doesn't have to text me back. That's fine. So I move on with my life. And that later on that week on like Thursday, I have this psychic reading with this new psychic because I'm still trying to figure out my life. And we mostly pull cards and do the reading on my career because I'm considering different options right now, like staying at my current company, like building another company, or potentially even getting a job. I've shared with you like the girl boss era may be coming to a close, like TBD. And so I also was like, can you also pull a card on this particular person? if there's clarity on like the lesson or anything I need to know about this person to help close the chapter, like let me know. So we do the whole career reading, and then we get to the card where I'm pulling, like that she pulled for this person, my summer fling. And I'm like excited to like hear her basically tell me he's like the worst, or was like, I don't know, just he sucks. I don't know. I was just like, tell me something to help me move on. You know, that's what I was looking for. Because again, I mostly moved on, but there was like this part of me that still like lived in the fantasy of like, what if he changed? What if he like did choose me? And like, how good would that be? And like, to be honest, like for a long time, I let myself like live in the fantasy of him because it felt good. And because those thoughts feel good, they become addicting. So you like let yourself like dream and fantasize about this person who doesn't exist. Like, he's never going to be that person. He isn't that person. He's literally told you Leopard does not change his spots and he does not think he's capable of change. He's not demonstrating through actions he's changing. So, like, it's truly a fantasy that I've allowed myself to, like, become addicted to. And so, again, it had waned off through, you know, the fall and into December now. And I just like kind of wanted to put the nail in the coffin and like I'm like, give me a closing message, you know? So she pulls the card over and it's the prophet. She's like, whoa. She's like, I was not expecting this to be like the card, like the way you talked about him. You're just like, yep, we're leaving him in the past, like moving on. But she's like, the prophet is like a very like a magical, cosmic like connection. And she's like feeling into the connection. She's like, whoa. And she's like, and now I'm feeling into the bond and the connection. She's like, I honestly did not expect it to feel like this strong and this deep. And she's like, I honestly like never even say this, but she's like, are you sure he's not your person? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. You guys have been tuning into the whole episode, so you know where we're at on that. So first off, when she tells me like this, I'm like, I'm fucking annoyed, you know, because I want her to tell me like, you're living in a fantasy land, like he's the worst and it's nothing, and like you're gonna move on, and like your real man is on the way. Like, I didn't like that she was like, are you sure he's not your person? It feels like it could have been your person energy. So I go home that night. It's the full moon that night, and I'm fucking cannot sleep. And I'm like kind of annoyed that this lady told me this because I'm like, I'm trying to move on. And like, again, I have moved on, but I'm trying to close the loop of the fantasy of him. And I'm like, yeah, I still hadn't heard back on the text message. And then I'm like, laying in bed, and I decide that I'm going to send him a voice message. Now, any normal human would probably tell me, don't do that, Tiffany. It's like double texting. You don't like text someone, they don't respond, and you say, hello. Like, I don't double text. So now I'm going to send him this voice message. But hear me out. So originally when I sent that text message, it was just like clean. It was like generic. It was like wishing you well, da da da, and not honoring, you know, the realness or the depth that we did experience, although brief. And so I'm like, I'm going to close this out with truth and honesty, because what I saw today at the psychic was that there was a real deep connection and it wasn't just in my mind. So I sent him this voice message, basically just being like, hey, I just want to make sure that I honored what was and say that I'm thankful we met. And I was like, I know we both kind of didn't act our best selves, but like, I forgive you and I just want to move forward and end this cleanly. And so I sent him that message, and he texted me back the next day. It was like, hey, thank you for the message or something like that. I'm processing. I'll get back to you. I'm like, cool. So like 4 days go by. I finally get a voice message. It's very kind. It is just kind of validating like the experience for him too. He's like, it was very like real for me too, like a real connection. My daughter's calling. Let's see what she wants. Hi, baby. What are you doing?
Just carrying in the playroom.
Anything else, my love bug?
Just one more thing I love you.
Oh, I love you too so much. I'll see you tomorrow. How cute is she? She has like they have like these little watches that they can call on when they miss you. So I love when she calls because she's like, I just calling because I miss you. Okay, so anyways, where was I at? Oh yeah, so then he sends me a voice message back and basically just like, yes, like what we had was undeniable, like there was passion and like it was real, and it was also like not necessarily what I was ready for, what I was looking for. And so, you know, I want the best for you. I wish the best for you. And like I also want to share with you that like I am dating someone right now. And so I just wanted to share that. Like, I know you're not asking, but I'm sharing. And yeah, just like wishing you all the best. And I'm like, cool. So I received that voice message and I'm like, thankful he took the time to respond. Like, he didn't have to do that. So I'm processing the voice message. I'm initially just like happy for him. Like, I want the best for him. Why would I wish anything but the best for somebody like you once cared for? And so at first I'm like, I'm happy for you. Great. So I send him like a text message back, just being like, I'm so happy for you. And then I'm also like, but out of respect for your relationship and utter respect for like myself and staying focused on me, like I am going to go back to blocking you, but this time like not from anger, just like from care and like for my mental well-being and removing any distraction for either of us so we can just move forward. So I ended up blocking him and then actually later deleting his number, and let me kind of walk you through how I got to that point. So I didn't tell you this, but when we went to dinner, when we reconnected, I was like, so how was like the end of your summer? Like, what did you do? And he's like, oh, I was actually like in a relationship like for 2 months. And I was like, what the fuck? He just like jumped to the next girl. And it did hurt. It was like a gut punch when I heard that, because it's like all summer I'm like holding on to like, again, like the fantasy of like maybe he'll go to therapy, maybe he'll change, maybe he'll have like a revelation that like he needs to do the inner work, and to be met with the reality of like, nope, he just avoided himself all day long again and chose another relationship from what he told me, like a very shallow relationship that didn't require depth. And the thing with avoidance, which he was very avoidance, they fear intimacy. So they're like serial daters. They love the excitement of like a new relationship. They love new beginnings where there's nothing expected of them. Women don't have like needs yet. They're not truly known. They get to wear their mask. They get to flirt. They get to like have their charm like lead. And so avoidants are serial daters because they love the dopamine of like a new relationship, a new beginning, a chance to like wear the mask again and not have any expectations, not disappoint people, not be met with the need to like have accountability or conflict resolution. Until they jump from person to person. It's not because they have just moved over you or magically healed. It's because they're avoiding themselves, and because they do best with new relationships where the people don't truly know them yet. And they do best in shallow relationships because like true relationships where they're seen and intimacy exists, like their nervous system can't hold it. And so they like run away and they create space purposely by self-sabotaging, by like finding critiques in the other person, by pulling away, and ultimately like either that woman will leave because hello, not consistent, or like they'll just pull completely away till the relationship ends. And so, like I said, originally I'm like, okay, I'm happy for him. But then the next day I'm like kind of pissed. I'm like, dude, like I actually want the best for this person. And the best for this person is like not just fucking existing in the same pattern he has his whole life, which is hurting other women. It is hurting himself. Like, what would be the best for him is him actually like do the inner work, like figure out like why he acts the way he is, like why he can only go so deep, why it scares him to have like true intimacy, and why consistency is so hard, and why like conflict is so scary. But like, he didn't do the work, and that's fine. So, anyways, as the days continue, I'm like, it's the holidays, it's December, and I start like thinking of them like doing cute holiday things, and I'm like getting annoyed. I'm like, this is fucking not fair. Like, this guy just gets to hop from relationship to relationship, and now he's gonna do cute holiday things. And I was talking to my friend about how I was just like annoyed that he just gets to like move on and they get to like have this cute holiday together. And my friend reminded me, they're like, Tiffany, you know how you existed in the illusion of him, of like, maybe he's changing, maybe he's doing some work. And it was like literally you got smacked with a reality twice. Like every time you went back to him, after blocking him or having space, like had been dating during your break. He hadn't been doing the inner work. He's like, you're doing it again. He's like, you're existing in the fantasy of what you think their relationship is. The reality is they're not just doing cute little fucking holiday things. Like, yeah, sure, he's living in his little like bubble of like, no one needs anything from me. I can keep it casual. I can keep it high level. It can be passionate and fun. But trust me, there is going to be a time in the not so distant future where it's like they're going to get close and he's going to get freaked out and he's going to do the same thing that he always does, which is run away, create distance, critique, self-sabotage, start judging, start nitpicking, like start ghosting, slow his responses, change his mood, like go cold. Like he's going to do the same thing he's done his whole entire life. And she's not probably going to have a fucking cute little holiday or cute little New Year's Eve. She's going to be confused why they just had like one step forward towards like this real connection and then 5 steps backwards. She's probably going to be anxious just like you were. She's not sleeping. She's questioning. She's wondering like what is going on. Like it's the waiting game for her, waiting and waiting for him to like change and choose her and step up. But like he's never going to do that, like because he hasn't done the work, and you don't just change this overnight. And like he maybe can go against those initial urges for a time or two, but ultimately he's going to retreat. He's going to pull back. He's going to self-sabotage. He's going to confuse her. She's probably at home right now, anxious and confused, wondering why they had such a great night, and then the next day he's cold, you know? And so stop living in the fantasy that like he's changed and healed and moved on, and like they get to live in this like Christmas story of like happiness and peace and harmony. Like even if they are right now, like he's going to purposely create space between the two of them because that's what he does. And if they haven't gotten to that point yet because it's super shallow or super surface level, eventually, like any other woman, she's going to have needs. She's going to have expectations. She's going to be upset about something. And what do you know about him? He shuts down when like a woman has needs or expectations, and he doesn't have conflict resolution. So like, don't live in this fantasy of what you think this relationship is. That's not what it is. And I was like, you are so fucking right. Oh my fucking God. Like, why do I keep getting caught in this fucking illusion and this fantasy of what I think he is or could be or what they are? Like, it's so crazy how wrapped up I got in these stories and illusions. Even having his number in my phone, I'm like, there's still a chance that I'll fucking text him in like 4 months or 10 months or a year or 6 months or whatever and be like, maybe he's realized what he lost. Maybe he's done the work now. Like maybe he self-sabotaged enough relationships that he's come to his senses. And it's like just having his number in my phone was keeping like that final illusion alive of like, maybe one day I'll text him and things will be different. And I'm like, there's literally no reason I even need to have his number anymore because this is the reality. The reality is he never really chose you. Reality is the 2 times he was away from you and separated, he just dated somebody else. He didn't do any work. He's expressed to you with his own words that he does not have a desire to change. He does not think he is capable of change. He thinks he's too old. He says a leopard never changes his spots. And I have just been existing in the fantasy versus the reality of what he has shown me and what he has stated. And so all that to say, I was finally able to close the loop and delete his number from my phone. And it was actually much easier than I expected. I thought it would be sad because again, it was like a part of me like existed in the comfort of the illusion of the fantasy, and just having his number and knowing that one day I could text him and like do this whole roller coaster all over again was like comforting because I had allowed myself to become addicted to the idea of him. It's like it felt good to dream and fantasize about one day reuniting or one day him choosing me or doing the work and changing. So anyways, I delete his number. It feels so free. It frees up so much energy and space emotionally just to like know he's not on my phone, know that I can't get sucked back into this, pattern again, and just drop the illusion that like I'm ever going to reach out and anything's going to be different. And so it did take me a good part of the year to truly let that relationship go. And I'm grateful for our ability, him and I, to close it with compassion and care and respect, because I do believe what we had was like we saw each other truly. And I really think he is a good person. But what I've learned in this relationship and in my marriage is that you can't just fall in love with the person. You have to fall in love with the pattern. And the pattern needs to be consistency and strength and communication and conflict resolution and accountability and care and reciprocity. So just because someone's a good person doesn't make them a good partner for you. And like, for example, with him, like he was an amazing dad, but like being a good dad doesn't require like emotional intimacy. And it's steady, it's stable. Like, you know what your kids expect, you know how to show up for your kids. Like relationships are chaotic. It's two people trying to figure each other out. And like, I learned that just because someone's a good dad doesn't mean that like could be a good relationship. And so just like reiterating, like because maybe you're out there dating and it's like, just because someone's a good dad doesn't make them a good partner. Just because they're a good person doesn't make them a good partner. You have to look at the pattern. You have to look at the partner they're being to you, not just the human. And now I release him and I get to open up that space for whatever is next in my life. Like next year is my love year, according to numerology. And it's the year I really step into like my next level identity, my next level career. Like everything's going to be reinvented next year. And all my energy and focus needs to be on me right now. And the more I can create space and let go of the things that don't serve my next level self, the better. So that is the full circle moment of how the summer fling came to a close. And so there won't be a rant today. There won't be a question, just some closure. So onwards and upwards. We're ending the year like completing that cycle. As you guys don't know, we are in a numerology year 9, which is all about endings and closing cycles. We are also in the year of the snake, which is all about shedding and letting go. So this is just another one of the many things I've been letting go and releasing as this year closes to prepare for next year, which is going to be numerology year 1, fresh beginning. It's also going to be the year of the fire horse, which is going to be fast momentum for those of us who have been doing the work and letting go. But the fire horse, for those of people who have not been doing the work, will burn down anything not in integrity, not aligned with the truth of who you are. So it is the final stretch of letting go and closing cycles and patterns that do not serve you, letting go of people and places and things that are not meant to go with you on this next journey. So that is this cycle closed, and I'm grateful for all I learned along the way. Tune in next week for another episode of the Tiffany Paul Show. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit subscribe. It really helps the show grow. If you're already watching this, just hit subscribe. And if you are listening to this on your podcast app, give us 5 stars if you enjoyed this episode. The ratings and subscriptions to the channel and to the pod really help the show grow, and it means a lot to kind of receive that energy reciprocity. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next week.